feel I'm more fuckable without makeup, but okay. Welcome. Have you ever wondered
Who thought of that? Why is this thing that I'm using exist?
We're here, my friend. You will get all your answers. Because I'm a curious cat as well. Today we are discussing toys. Toys that aid in a very natural process and that YouTube don't like the actual name of, so I will have to censor myself. Disclaimer. This video is discussing mature subjects. Viewers' discretion is advised. Do whatever you want. I will just talk about one of my favorite topics to talk about. Let's get into it. It all started in 29,000 BC when Neanderthals carved stones into phallic shapes. We don't know their actual use. Maybe they did it for fun. It could be. Maybe it was for fertility ceremonies. We don't actually know. Oh, at this point, I should mention that they found a lot of things, a lot of toy-like rocks mostly, throughout the years, but in some pagan cultures, a female orgasm was seen as an offering to the gods of fertility, so they made these things in order to achieve that easily. Hear that? Easily. They didn't use men. I don't know what to think of it, but I love men, so I'm not gonna shit talk them right now. Also, ancient Anatolians used I loved that sculptures of this man's organ to ward off evil and ill luck, as they believed, I'm writing here, that it contained special powers. No further comment on that. We are continuing with actual toys, especially dildo. A 2,000-year-old one has been found buried alongside its owner, a Chinese aristocrat. His name was in there and couldn't care more. I mean, if this is not a power move, I don't know what is. But maybe because they were made out of bronze, and that's why they wanted them. Just give it to the people, come on. It is said that Chinese elite were displaying their toy collection in an effort to show their status. So I guess the more and the better toys you had, the more elite you were. Might be heading to an elite status. Another incredible fact that I found out was that a king near the region of today's Shanghai was buried with his plug. No. Before the aristocrat, good for him. But that is a power move. But, pun intended, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer about it. They say that they were using these plugs to corpses in order to maintain the body's chi. Is the life force and energy found in the body. I think bodies of unalived people produce foul smells, maybe pass gas, so maybe that is why they were using it, but let's not talk about it more and let's just imagine that they were using it as we are thinking that they were using it, because it's more fun. I braced through the fact that those toys were made out of bronze. Out! Whatever floats your boat. I'm not here to judge. I will judge in a little bit. You will see why. We are moving to my ancestors. I don't know if I'm proud of them. Open your ears and hear me out. They did the most. In 500 BC, ancient Greeks used toys that were mostly made leftover bread. Wow, I'm judging. Hard bread. You couldn't think of anything else to insert in your body. Bread. I will take my judging ass somewhere else, and I will mention that ancient Romans and Greek, they were the ones that discovered lube by using, of course, olive oil. I can be less harsh on them because they discovered lube. Lube is amazing. It can do wonderful things. Don't be afraid of it. Use it. I don't know about olive oil, that's pretty expensive nowadays. By 1300 AD, the toy industry was really taking off, especially in ancient Chinese people invented them Ben Wah balls. I don't know how to say the next part. They invented these balls that were filled with animal semen. Rings which are placed, made of gold eyelids, and double-sided toys that start with dil and end with do. I said that Greeks were freaks. I said it. But man, those people. It is rumored that Cleopatra, the infamous Cleopatra, in order to get her some, she used a filled pumpkin, let's say, and the filling was bees. Bees. We're not sure if this is true or if it has any base. We don't know. But we do know that people do crazy things in order to pleasure themselves. I want to believe it because it's interesting, to say the least. Let's continue. Another side note about the word that I cannot pronounce that starts with dil and ends with do was actually crafted around 1400s BC by Pietro Arentino, who is considered to be the father of adults enjoying themselves graphic. It comes from the word diletto or diletto, the Italian word for delight. You have the permission to be a 12-year-old right now and go to someone and say, "You're such a delight," but use the word that we cannot use in YouTube videos. If they get offended, you can say, no, I'm not saying anything bad. This word is derived from the Italian word for delight, so I just told you that you are a delight. I'm 12 years old, sir. Anyway, in the 1600s, French sailormen had to have women in their lives because they crafted dolls made out of straw, and they would bring them, these dames de voyage, on long trips. The need of men of having some hole to insert. Why didn't they use each other's hole? Maybe they did, but we don't know, because straw can get you so far. I'm just speculating here. I think we reached my favorite point, the introduction of the manipulator. Listen to this. Sometime during the 1700s, American physician George Taylor invented the steam-powered manipulator. The reason that it was invented actually is so stupid. The goal back in those days was to help alleviate hysteria in women. And by hysteria, they meant sexual frustration, but it would be years after this term was used, the sexual frustration. Years later. It was easier to name it hysteria than to actually understand and name what was actually happening. Now, this video is about toys that people use to stimulate specific areas in order to reach the feeling that most women want desperately to reach. But we have to mention the toys that are used to stimulate both the brain and the specific areas. That's right, people, I'm talking about BDSM. 1791 saw the publication of Justine by Marquis de Sade, which I have to read. Marquis de Sade is the father of BDSM. His writing not only gave birth to the BDSM movement, but popularized many of the bondage toys, such as whips, handcuffs, and etc. I had to mention it because we are talking about pleasurable toys. Moving on, without further comments. In 1844, rubber was discovered, invented, and then they used it to many things, including toys. In 1880, George Taylor is credited with being the first American to create a steam and foot hand crank device. Taylor's manipulator turned a wheel which pushed a rod that created a movement on a handle or padded surface. The patient would either hold on to the handle and receive the vibration, or sit or stand against it to receive the movement from the machine. I cannot put any images, of course, but I will leave every article that has every picture that I'm talking about in the description below, and I will say which article has which picture. My comment here is, imagine the work that you had to put into this. I'm too spoiled. I'm too spoiled on that. But I guess if you're sexually frustrated, everything is possible. We've seen far worse things. So, in 1883, English physician Joseph Mortimer Granville invented an electric vibrator in UK. This unique device, wasn't supposed to be used for that, he said. He knew it could be used in that way. He said that he actually designed it to treat pain, headaches, irritability, and indigestion in men. Many other companies till this day use this advertising tactic, but we will talk about them in a minute. Jumping some years ahead, in the 1920s, the massagers came to the picture, and they never left. A lot, and I mean a lot, of different products throughout the 1900s were advertised as massagers, but truly they were vibrators. Yeah, of course you can use them to actually heal a sore muscle. Okay, of course. But come on, that's not fun at all. Imagine me using a vibrator for my sore neck. That could be actually genius. From, I believe, the 70s and on, yes, Japanese manufacturers who are predominant in that industry always advertise their products as massagers because they cannot do otherwise. They found ways around it, of course, and went as far as shaping their products as animals in order to be legal. The most revolutionary toy that they made in 1983, called the Rabbit, it provided both penetration and clitoral stimulation. This one, the Rabbit, was the first one of its kind, but then they made bears like what was the other one? A turtle? Another major innovation came in 1995 when the flashlight, replace the A with a E, was designed. Originally, it was created to collect samples from sperm donors because they understood that they have a market here. Okay, we're selling it as a toy. And about 2 years later, so in 1997, the first real doll popped up. Real dolls now used silicone and mechanical joints to provide, of course, the most realistic faux experience of being with a woman. From straw to silicone with joints and Today, the options that we have are truly endless. I'm very grateful for that, and on a serious note, I'm very grateful that people can now use toys without having shame. I hope more and more can be comfortable with this idea. You have to know your body, but women are mostly shamed about pleasuring themselves, which is sad, but many things are sad right now, so yeah. The anonymity of the internet can help you with that. You can just buy whatever it is that you want to buy, and nobody will ever know. They're gonna know. How would they know? It can truly change your life. The way you see yourself, the way you see your body, the way you value your body, the way you appreciate your body. And of course, it improves your sex life. You better understand yourself and your limits and what do you like, what you don't like. Just give it a try. If you want to know more about random stuff in our lives that we use, click here. I got you, baby, of course I do. I want to steal a quote from an article by Caitlin Heath. There's no telling of what the future holds, but we are guessing it's a whole lot of orgasms.